Some places do not appear on maps. They appear when the heart is ready. Hidden just beyond the ordinary world, the Enchanted Tea Room welcomes those who arrive carrying grief, a longing, unanswered questions, or a quiet ache they cannot name. Its door opens not by chance, but by need. The afternoon sun fell softly across the garden path that led to the Enchanted Tea Room. Lavender swayed in the breeze, and the scent of roses drifted through the open windows. Catherine stood near the door arranging teacups when she saw them walking slowly up the stone path. She always knew when to expect visitors. The first woman was elderly, in her 80s. Her silver hair was pinned neatly beneath a small hat, and she leaned gently on the arm of the younger woman beside her. The second woman, her daughter, was probably in her 60s. Her hands were strong from years of work, and her shoes carried the dust of the farm road. Catherine opened the door warmly. "Welcome," she said softly. "I've been expecting you." The older woman smiled with bright, peaceful eyes. "Well," she said gently, "that's a lovely thing to hear." She walked them inside the tea room and set them at a small table near the window overlooking Beulah's garden. Catherine poured a light chamomile and honey tea, placing a small plate of warm scones that Karen had brought from the kitchen between them. The daughter spoke first. "We live on a farm a few miles from here," she said. "We had noticed your sign, and Mama wanted to come. You must be new in town." Catherine nodded but did not explain how the tea room appears only when needed. The elderly woman chuckled softly. "I told her I simply felt like having tea." Catherine smiled knowingly. Sometimes people did not know exactly why they came. The tea room simply called them. The older woman wrapped her hands around the warm teacup. "My name is Lily, and I've had a good life," she said quietly. Her daughter shifted uncomfortably. "Mama." But the elderly woman continued peacefully. "When I was young, I married a wonderful man. We raised crops, cattle, chickens, and grew apples on our beautiful little farm on the hillside." She looked out toward the garden. "I often wrote poems on winter evenings, and we would enjoy reading them together. I even had a few poems printed in the local newspaper," she added with a shy smile. "And we laughed more than we worried." Catherine leaned forward. "That sounds like a beautiful life." "It was," the woman said softly. She paused a moment. "My George passed away several years ago." Her daughter looked down at the table. "But I'm not afraid to go," the woman continued. "I love the Lord, and I know where I'm going." Then her voice softened. "I just worry about my girl." She squeezed her daughter's hand. "She works that farm so hard, and I don't want her to feel alone." Catherine sat quietly for a moment, letting the tea room grow still around them. The kettle hummed softly in the kitchen. Then she spoke. "Your daughter will not be alone." The older woman looked up. "The Lord who walked with you your whole life," Catherine said gently, "will walk with her too." The daughter blinked away tears. Catherine reached into a small wooden box beside her chair and removed a folded piece of paper. She placed it into Lily's hand. "Would you read this later tonight?" Lily nodded yes. Catherine then turned to the daughter. "Your mother's love does not end when heaven begins." The daughter whispered quietly, "Yes, I know." But Catherine smiled softly. "Soon you will know it even more." They finished their tea and ate a scone. Before leaving, Lily stood slowly and hugged Catherine. "Thank you," she said. "For what?" Catherine asked. She smiled. "For reminding me everything is ready." They walked down the stone path together and drove back toward their farm as the sun dipped low across the fields. The farmhouse was quiet that evening as the daughter helped her mother into bed. Lily opened the folded paper Catherine had given her earlier. Inside was a single verse written in graceful cursive. "I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also." John 14:3. The woman smiled. "Yes," she whispered. She closed her eyes and fell asleep. In the quiet hours of the night, something beautiful happened. The room filled with a gentle golden light. 2 angels stood near the bed, and beside them stood Jesus. Lily opened her eyes and saw them, her face lit with joy. "Well," she said softly, "I've been waiting for you." She suddenly felt light and young. As if stepping out of a coat, she rose gently from her body. Her earthly form remained in the bed, resting peacefully, but she stood beside the angels, whole and strong. Jesus smiled and reached out his hand. "Come home." And just beyond him stood a man she knew instantly, George, young again, strong again. He laughed the same warm laugh she remembered from evenings on the farm. "My dear Lily," he said. She ran to him, and they embraced in a big hug. The sun rose over the fields the next morning. The daughter knocked softly on her mother's door. "Mama?" No answer. She stepped inside. Her mother lay peacefully in bed, hands folded softly on the quilt, and on her face was the most beautiful smile. Not sadness, not fear, just peace. The daughter sat beside the bed and gently touched her hand. Tears slipped down her cheeks, but strangely, her heart felt calm. On the nightstand, she saw the folded paper from the tea room. She read the verse. Then she whispered softly, "Thank you, Lord, for taking care of her." Outside, the morning wind moved through the cornfields, and the sunlight passed through the window onto her body. And at that moment, the daughter did not feel alone, because love, she realized, had never left the farm. If this story brought you a moment of comfort, you're always welcome to come back. Like and subscribe so the Tea Room finds you again, and the Enchanted Tea Room will meet you again here for the next story. Until next time, the kettle will be warm and the table will be waiting.